Hello, everybody. I'm Jake, and this is Riding the Pine, and we have everyone. It's a sausage party. And we're celebrating 7-Eleven today, which means that we all got garbage gas station food. And that's exciting. Hi, guys. This is all the gentlemen. We have John, Lou, Ryan, and we have David. All of them. Look at them in 3 hats. 3 hats, 3 glasses, 4 beards. And then Lou.
I've got the summer beard going now. I went ahead and hedged it down yesterday.
Yeah. So big stuff today. We're going to be talking about UFC 200 and the UFC being sold. We're going to talk about all the stuff that goes into that. Probably some other stuff, mostly food, a little bit. And then we also are going to do a thing that you guys can join in on. That'll be a lot of fun if you like basketball, that is. And it's a little thing we found on, what was that website called, guys?
TheRinger.com, Bill Simmons' new website, replacing
The Ringer, yes.
Grantland.
It's called Building a Super Team to Beat the Warriors, and you have to pick a roster of 5 players on a small budget. And that'll be a lot of fun. So we'll play that in a little bit, and you guys can play along too, and we'll have a good time. And someone said no fucking mac and Cheetos, please. Oh, don't worry, it gets worse. Also today is National Blueberry Muffin Day. So does everyone have muffins? I have a muffin.
Oh, I
This
have
was the
muffins.
first idea, but then we decided, well, blueberry muffins are delicious. There's got to be something else going on. And then Lou had the good idea, or the terrible idea, that it's 7-Eleven today, so we should get gas station food. So
Hashtag never forget.
hashtag never forget. Where were you on 7-Eleven? Here, watching this garbage show. So obviously, I think we all got Slurpees, right? I know I do.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of. Yeah? Who doesn't have a Slurpee?
No
Ryan.
Slurpee.
I have a Slurpee. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. You don't have a Slurpee, John?
I went to 7-Eleven, but I forgot the Slurpee.
It was free!
You're dead
No.
to me.
No, the free stopped.
God.
At
Anyways,
7
I don't have a
when I was
7-Eleven.
there at
I went to
7:30.
Jackson's, so... But mine wasn't free. It was $1.23.
Oh.
But I got cherry and blue, so it's fine. But also I got I went like an hour ago and I looked at the taquito, the tornadoes on the rolly thing or the dogs or whatever, and I thought to myself, I hate myself, but not enough to have an hour-old taquito from a gas station just sitting on my desk. So I didn't get that. Instead, I got an egg
Oh
salad
my God.
sandwich.
Oh.
I swear
Dear
to God, I am
God.
psychic.
Dear God.
I'm psychic, Jake.
Yeah. So, I was looking. What I was gonna do is get one of those bimbo, the Mexican,
Bimbo.
the shitty. I don't know. They're like Hostess, but from Mexico, so they're even worse.
No,
'cause
they're
Mexico
significant.
has
No, they're
no
significantly
fucking
better.
standards.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
awful.
They're significantly standard. They're significantly better, just
They're
like Mexican
significantly
Coke.
standard.
Yeah, just like Mexican Coke is better than American Coke.
Coca-Cola or cocaine?
Both.
Both.
Oh, okay, cool. So so that's my haul. John, what did you get?
So somebody mentioned earlier, no fucking mac and Cheetos. Well, a couple weeks ago when we ate mac and Cheetos, I said on air that 7-Eleven pizza is better than mac and Cheetos. So
we
I went ahead and got
7-Eleven
myself
pizza.
2 slices of 7-Eleven pizza.
What kind are they? I think.
Just cheese. Just cheese.
Oh, they didn't have any pepperoni or
Nope,
bacon or.
There was nothing but cheese left, so
Oh,
that's
too
probably
bad.
been there since 11 o'clock this morning.
Oh, God.
So now I was going to get a hot dog because I wanted to punish myself for not being able to buy my hot dog for last week,
Right.
but I think this probably does just as well.
That's fine. You'll have plenty of heart. Also, I'd like to note that this is really hard to get into. I have the corner up, but it's like not really relenting. It's almost like they're protecting us from ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah,
Please don't eat
fucking
this.
eat egg salad from Deli Express. Let me see the. Okay, it doesn't expire. It expires next month. Almost. It expires on the 10th of August. What kind of egg salad lasts a month?
The best
Anyways.
kind.
The kind,
Anyways, Lou,
the kind that
Lou,
doesn't
what's,
have an egg in it.
what's
I mean-
your haul, Lou? Oh,
Well-
nope, it ripped.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I don't know if it counts as a Slurpee. It's an icy, because we don't have 7-Elevens in Texas anymore.
That's
And you can see it's I got the Coke kind, and I said I like Jack and Coke. I do not like Jack and Coke Slurpees. This is a bad idea, and no one should ever do this. Learn from my mistake. So I went and made myself a vodka soda to chase it with. I have a problem. And as far as my food,
alcoholism.
I got a taquito, and I haven't eaten since about 11, and I was hungry, and I accidentally ate it driving home. I forgot that I don't usually buy gas.
Wait, they're always on sale for like 2 for $2.50. How did you only buy one taquito?
I love myself enough to pay more
No.
money and get less value. I love
That's
myself
garbage.
that much. So I
by
don't
the
have
way-
any food to eat with y'all. I just have awful Jack and Coke Slurpee.
By the way, this muffin is from the Human Bean, which is a great place.
Or are you breaking into your food already?
What? Oh, I'm eating the muffin. I haven't fucking eaten today, man. Mowed the lawn and stuff. I'm a busy guy. Ryan, how you doing? What'd you
I'm
get
doing
today?
so good today. Jake, how are you?
Superman does good. You do well, Ryan.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Whatever. So I got a.
Wow, you're really fucking animated. I'm glad you brought the energy tonight.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I got a mango pineapple Slurpee.
Wow, that Slurpee is more entertaining than you right now.
It's sugar free, so that's good.
Oh my god, never mind. I take that
And
back.
then, for my food item, I actually got 7-Eleven's take on a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoa, buddy,
yeah.
I gotta see this. Okay,
Okay,
let's
Hold on.
let's peep it.
there it is.
Oh, that looks
7-Eleven.
sad.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
No
I see
good.
neither cheese nor
Oh,
steak.
yeah.
What are we looking at here?
What? Yeah, I don't know. It just looked pale. It looked like a liverwurst. Did you take a bite? Oh, okay. He took a bite. How is that?
No, it's not good.
Okay, good.
not
It doesn't look like a chili. It doesn't look like a Philly cheesesteak so much as it looks like a tumor that was taken out of someone in Philly who had eaten a
it was
cheesesteak.
probably
That's
that,
what it
yeah.
looks like.
Named cheesesteak, like the nickname. David, last up. Please tell me that you got something that's not going to kill you.
Okay, so I
God, your
have.
hair's beautiful. Sorry for cutting you off.
I put extra, knowing that we were going to be on video tonight, I did.
yeah.
I put a little extra in with the brush and the
little
hair
product? You get a little product in there?
dryer. Oh yeah, some product. It doesn't. I don't just wake up like this.
You don't?
I do. All right, yeah, you're right. I do. So I have a chili cheese dog plastered with jalapenos. It's been sitting for about an hour and a half now. It's probably cold.
Oh Christ!
I'm just gonna have to eat it out of the box with a fork. No. Here,
It's probably fused with
Yeah.
the box at this point. You're
Hold
gonna
on.
have to eat part of the box to get that whole thing down.
Let's see now. Hold on. I've got like a whole roll of paper towels here prepared. So let's see if I can get a bite in real quick.
All right,
Real quick.
yes.
Just a
I'm
quick
down.
bite.
I think. Oh, that's a nice napkin, by the way. I like the pattern. That's someone went and spent a little extra.
That qualifies as a doily, I think.
Yeah.
No,
Is
yeah,
that
oh yeah.
cloth?
Handmade by my great grandmother. No, that is
She works at the napkin factory. Well, I don't know why they let her.
generic
Rock,
paper
Rock
towel.
Soldier in the chat says the box will probably taste better than the hot dog itself.
It may.
We'll see. I'll eat that too. It's got cheese all over it.
Hey, structural integrity.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. All right. Well, here's a little John action. Oh, that pizza looked like it.
That
It was
did not bend at
resisting the
all.
bite.
That did not bend, John. That is stiff.
Now, I have to give 7-Eleven a lot of credit because this chili cheese dog is vegan friendly to the lactose intolerant, because this chili contains no actual beef, and this cheese was never, ever from a cow. It's an amazing accomplishment.
But what about the dog? I didn't know that vegans could eat raccoons. Or is that like, does that not
you know
matter?
what?
They don't count because they have thumbs.
Oh, so they're basically people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And vegans
No, well,
don't care
that's the
about.
other thing.
PETA
I'm not
doesn't give a
convinced-
shit about people.
I'm not convinced this dog was ever meat either. It's just spiced imitation.
This is not
sausage.
good.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just got to
Whoa.
all of Jack Daniels in this. Oh my god.
Remind me what? Oh, I forgot to talk about my Mountain Dew Coca-Cola Slurpee.
Did you get super high before you went out?
No, I think I'm just still 12 years old. Like, I turned into a 12-year-old when I hit the Slurpee machine, and I just put, like, cherry and Mountain Dew and Coke and maybe some fucking bubble gum or whatever novelty flavor they have.
Oh god. Okay, so I'm regretting this. Look how much bread there is. I'm not sad that there's not more egg salad,
Wow.
but there's a super. It's like Texas toast, but it's super dry.
Okay. So I got two pieces of this pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza, by the way, that I will not eat both pieces of. So, if I was like, let's say, I had to stop in 7-Eleven on my lunch break, and I ran in, and I'm going to grab a Coke, and I'm really freaking hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet today. Let me grab a piece of pizza. Go get a Hostess cherry pie instead.
I
Because
feel
I swear to God, you could replicate this pizza by taking a piece of white bread, putting some spaghetti sauce across it, sprinkling some extra pepper on there, and then maybe like taking a couple slices of American cheese, dropping it on there, melting it in the oven for about 15 minutes. You got yourself a 7-Eleven pizza.
That's America right there.
I love that we started at mac and Cheetos, and then you suggested instead of the mac and Cheetos, please
We
go
started
get
at
the
Grunk.
7-Eleven pizza. You're right, the Grunk. But and now you're at pizza, and now you're gonna go the Hostess cherry pie. What's the spiral look like at the end? Like, what's the last thing you eat? Is it just like
December,
an old crack rock?
By December, we're going to be doing meth on the air. Like that's
We're all gonna-
be
we're all
shooting
gonna-
up Vicodin by September.
We're all gonna be like sticking our heads in a pig's feeding trough, just eating like whatever scraps and corn and
No, you know what
refuse.
we're gonna wind up doing by next year? We're gonna end up doing Jankum on air. That's what we're gonna wind up doing. We're all gonna do Jankum.
What's
What is that? Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't spend enough time in third world countries. Jankum is this thing that became popular in the United States in prisons, and they do it in third world countries. And this is no joke. You can look it up on Wikipedia. It's a serious thing. You take a 2-liter bottle, and people shit and piss in it, and then they put a balloon on top, and you leave it out in the sun, and it ferments, and all the poo crystals and piss and whatever it creates this horrible bacteria. People
Poo
take
crystals?
the poo crystals, yeah. And,
Right. Okay.
And you know how people will take a helium balloon and suck on it and make their voice funny? You take it,
poo crystals.
poo crystals. You
I gave
take
my
the
wife
balloon.
one of those for our 3rd anniversary. Go on.
You take the balloon and you breathe it in, and it's apparently you will trip balls for days apparently on this stuff. It's called Jankum. I think it's Gankum. Look it up on
Why isn't
Google.
it called shit piss crystal balloon?
Well, they tried to do that, but the guards in the prisons figured out what they were talking about, so they had to come up with another name. So it's
But
Jankum.
now Lou in Houston knows about it, not the guards.
Well, Lou in Houston's got a checkered
Lou.
past you motherfuckers might not know about. All right, so you don't know who you're
Lou,
dealing with
you
on this YouTube game.
getting this out of a balloon.
Wait, Lulu.
Lulu?
I plead the fifth.
Lulu.
He's
Hey,
not
Lulu.
Lulu, so we get 20 tits for 25.
Wait, I'm not sure I heard you correctly. Do you inhale out of the balloon? Because
Yeah,
if
you
there are
inhale out of the
crystals in
balloon.
there,
Yeah,
can
you
we
inhale
instead
out of the
crush
balloon.
up the crystals and snort them? Like, what are our options here?
No, it's just you just breathe in the balloon and it's a bunch of vapor and you breathe it in and it gets you apparently just high as fuck.
So you pass it around like those, like the fucking vaporizer balloons?
Yes.
Yeah, and you can get a metal one and wear
I
a
like
fedora and you can be the douchebag who does it. Like if you do it out of instead of a Coke bottle, you do it out of like a bottle of smart water, then you can be the douchey trendy guy.
Lou,
Oh.
like, you're really selling me on this. Like,
All right, hold on. Jankum.
is that green? Is that considered green?
Jenkem. Oh no, it's Jenkem. And
Yeah.
holy shit, there is a magazine dedicated to it. Oh my god. Jenkem magazine. How many articles can you write about pooping in a bottle? I mean,
I feel like that has to be a troll. It
I
has
feel
to
like
be.
the mission statement of this show is fading into obscurity.
Now we're just like, how much can we debase ourselves? And I'm okay with that.
says the guy with a 7-Eleven chili dog in his hand that he has eaten 3/4 of so far. I'm way, way ahead of you right now in this race, David.
He said he was okay with it.
I have $20. Someone tell me what to buy off Steam.
Dust is really
there's
good.
Poop in my soup. Just buy that as many times as you can with $20.
Buy Dust and Elysian Tale.
If you like
side scrollers.
If you like resource management games, Factorio, even though it's in beta, is fucking awesome.
Okay.
You can
How
get like
about,
7 of these from 7-Eleven.
How about we talk about UFC? While we do this.
This is a sports podcast. That's right.
It sure is. So, Lou and John, you guys are the biggest UFC fans among us.
Yes, we
Right
have the
now.
we have the lowest bench press, so we are by de facto the biggest UFC fans. That's just a trend I've noticed.
Yeah, and
We squat the least, so we know the most about UFC.
so there's two things going on right now. You can recap UFC 200 and how you felt about it, because the last show we recorded, the recorded show, was pretty much about UFC 200. I think like half of it was devoted to it. But also, I'd like to get your thoughts just initially, because we don't have a lot of news. UFC just sold for $4 billion.
Good for them.
$4 billion. That's like 3 LeBrons.
And when you think about it, what's amazing is it is the greatest return on investment in the history of sports.
They bought it for like
2002. In 2002, Lorenzo and what's Lorenzo's brother's name? Frank Fertetti and Dana White bought UFC for $2 million, and today they just sold it for $4 billion. Greatest ROI of all time. It's just insane. Amazing how the sport has grown in popularity.
I'm eating a muffin and someone else talk.
No, I mean, that's clear. There's no doubt about that. And I think the best thing that can be done is that they change as little as possible. One of the things that tends to happen when these kinds of things go on is there tends to be shakeups in certain sections. I think the worst thing they could possibly do is do anything that would cause Joe Rogan to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Joe Rogan came out in May on a podcast and said, look, if UFC is sold, I'm not renewing my contract, and I want to say his contract ends at the end of the year in December. But now that Dana has officially announced, look, I'm signing a contract, I'm staying on as president of the UFC for the foreseeable future. I think with Dana being there, I'm not going to guarantee that Rogan stays around, but there's a significantly better chance that he stays around if Dana White is still there.
Rogan is like one of the only things I like, and I'm as casual a fan as you can get.
Right.
And Rogan is like, he brings me to it.
Yeah.
If anything,
He brought a lot of people to it, and
He makes it accessible. He makes it accessible.
Exactly.
He makes it funny. I mean, really what made me a UFC fan, and this might sound stupid, if you've ever seen the Joe Rogan stand-up skit, everybody watch it. It's 2 minutes on
so
YouTube,
funny.
where he talks about Brock Lesnar fucking him. It's fucking hilarious. It's great, and it made me say, maybe I'll check out this UFC thing, and I did, and I just thought it was, UFC, I think 186 was my first one, and I just, I fell in love with it. I just thought it was great. Or 184, excuse me. So just fell in love with the sport. But as far as last night was concerned, or as far as Saturday night was concerned, John, it was, I think you and me were really, when we saw what happened with Jones and Cormier, I think we were really pooping on the event a lot, and we were really kind of downplaying it. I mean, overall, I had a great time. I had a great time watching it. Me and the girlfriend ended up loving the show. It was a little strangely paced in that, not talking about the prelim matches, but just talking about the main card. It starts off with a first-round knockout with Travis Brown and Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez just completely dominates him. and with only 3 seconds to go, he couldn't be saved by the bell. They had to stop the fight, or else Kane was going to kill this guy. And then it ends with a knockout and a new women's bantamweight champion. But the rest of it was just, I don't know a word to explain it. Like, it was like the movie Mission Impossible. It starts really badass and it ends really badass, but the middle was just kind of double agent and IMF, I don't care, just get to more explosions. That's what it felt like to me. It was very, it started and ended very well, but the whole middle was kind of to me.
How was Sage Northcutt, who, if you guys don't know, is Lou's man crush, of which there are many, but this is the new one.
He's my latest fling. He was incredible. This kid is the future of the lightweight or welterweight division. I mean, he gets put in an armbar twice by Marin, who he was fighting, and he actually escapes. And it wasn't like, you know, his hands were still together armbar. It was full extension Ronda Rousey, and he was able to turn on his stomach and head scissor his way out. I mean, just Houdini style shit. So he's the future of the welterweight. Who?
Northcutt, didn't he lose?
No, Northcutt won by decision. Won 29-28 unanimously.
Ah, cool. Check this out. There you go.
God, he's fucking gorgeous.
Like, look at that. I mean, he just looks like such a nice kid.
Looks,
you know?
He's like a little baby.
And you're like, oh, shit.
Isn't he Ivan Drago from Rocky IV?
That's exactly what I said. I said he's an Ivan Drago you can cheer for. He's an Ivan Drago I would go to breakfast with after I slept with. I'd still sleep with Ivan Drago, don't get me wrong, but
just no breakfast for that guy, yeah.
I'm not going to hang out with him.
Like this, I think this is the one that you showed us. He definitely has weird nipples.
Yeah. Seriously, though.
But not as weird as Brock Lesnar.
Those things are hard as can be, though, man. You could cut glass with Sage Northcutt's
Let me give you a little Brock Lesnar nip. Like they're kind of like, I don't know. Here's a good one. They're kind of like off to the side and sad about it.
Yeah, but look at that pic, dude. Look at that line. He's got 4 pecs. Like, he has pecs on top of his pecs.
That's a poorly assembled human being. Like, none of his proportions looks right. Like, his head is weird.
He should bring the beard back, though. That was a good look. Look at that. I like the beard.
Yeah, he looks a lot better with the beard for sure.
Yeah, it's a little better.
Lesnar. Anyways.
Yeah. What do you
that's another segment of the show where we critique men.
Well, speaking of Brock Lesnar, so he kind of went out and did what I was saying the other day in the episode, you know, the pre-fight episode. He kind of went out and did what I was saying he was going to do. He really kind of beat the fuck out of Mark Hunt's face. I don't know if you guys saw the hematoma he had on the side of his head when those canned hams were hitting him. It was, I mean, his face was out to here above his eye. It was unbelievable. He went out there and he pummeled him, and I don't know what does that say for the heavyweight division? I love that he went out and did that, but I really kind of wanted it to be Mark Hunt that won, only because this muddies the waters of the heavyweight division. Unless Brock Lesnar comes back and becomes a mainstay of the heavyweight division again and gets in there and starts fighting with these people, if he just comes back in every once in a while and beats guys, then it makes the heavyweight division look a little...
And there's going to be a lot of resentment towards him if he does. Now, my theory on that, John, is, you know, he walked away on Saturday night it came out yesterday with the biggest fight purse in history. He walked away with $2.5 million for that fight. Shattered Conor McGregor's record from 8 months ago of, those are weird looking nipples, man.
Like, just, what's going on there?
They protrude so much,
like,
dude.
This one's like, oh man, I'm a nipple on Brock Lesnar.
Nobody nibbles on me.
God, this one gets nibbled a lot. Like, this one's bigger. That one's just like a little guy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But no, you know what I think is going to happen now that WME is bottom, and if this guy's able to walk away with $2.5 million when UFC is trying to sell, what's going to happen now if WME is running them and they really want to make their money back on their investment and Brock Lesnar sells pay-per-views? Dude, this guy might be pulling down $3.5 million per fight. I don't see him going back to WWE full-time. I think when his WWE contract is up at the end of next year, I think you're going to see Brock Lesnar come back and be not a full-time UFC guy, but signed with them and training full-time for 2 to 3 fights a year. I think you're going to see him there more.
So before I respond to that, I just want to make sure, David or Ryan, did you watch the fights? Do you have anything to say about any of this?
Yeah, I saw a guy punch another guy in the face, and that was cool.
Ryan, like the electricity.
Yes.
God, just calm down.
I'm
okay?
sorry.
You know, Ryan paints a picture. Like, I feel like I'm there. You know,
Right,
like
no,
I could just
like-
see it. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
He's like Robert Frost. Really, like he's easily the most talented among us.
I was gonna say Al Michaels crossed with. I was gonna say a combination of Al Michaels and Marv Albert is what I just got from listening to him. I mean, it's just.
I've been
So
called
one of
the
us-
Paul Harvey of my generation, so
One of us has to exercise some subtlety, and you know, there's so much subtext behind every single word that Ryan utters.
But John, what were you gonna say?
First, I was gonna say, Ryan, say no to drugs unless it's weed, and say yes to pizza unless it's 7-Eleven pizza.
John,
Thank you
I'm
for
sorry,
reading
John.
my
Can you
poster.
show us that one more time? I gotta see one more time that pizza.
It looks petrified.
It looks like it.
Oh
Hold
my
on.
God.
Let me click on.
It
Oh.
looks almost cartoonish, like you know
That's
the
not-
pizza that the Ninja Turtles. You know what?
Oh no! Hold on. The bottom is
That's not it.
discolored.
That's not a pizza. I don't know what the fuck that is. That might be mold. That might
Hold
be
on,
like
hold on.
John,
want-
John, you're eating
want-
dry wood, or you're
I want you
eating.
to grab the tip. I want you to grab the tip of the other hand and and just bend it, and I want to see where it breaks.
Can you separate the cheese? Like,
Oh, it
will
does.
there
Okay,
be like
if
a
your
line
pizza does that right there,
sauce?
Don't eat it.
it's over. Yeah, no.
It's breaking like fucking drywall.
Right,
That's
it's
what
like
I was saying, yeah,
it's like
like
asparagus.
It's just. Oh hey, well at least the cheese comes off. Does it stretch? Oh,
does
that's a
not
bad
stretch.
fucking sign.
It does not stretch.
That's
Guys,
like cellulose filler.
So,
Truth time,
So-
the pizza on Ryan's Ninja Turtles poster behind him looks more appetizing than what John has in his hands.
It sure
that's what I
does.
was. That's what I was getting at with the joke that no one laughed at.
Well, that's because we fell into Ryan's subtext, and we were all pondering his wise words. By the way, this is okay. I didn't finish this part of the sandwich of the first, and this is how far I'm in with this, and I feel like I'm gonna throw it up. So,
Okay, now-
in case you were wondering, mac and Cheetos better than fucking egg salad sandwiches at a gas station.
Hey, my chili cheese dog and like 50 jalapenos on it was fucking great.
Was it?
Excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
No, I did pretty well at 7-Eleven.
This is sitting like a goddamn rock.
So now onto the good stuff.
See, that
This
looks
is a pre-
fine.
It's a pre-packaged blueberry muffin, but it's Ginger Evans Gourmet, and it does say on the box "made just for me." So, you know, I gotta take them at their word on that. Back to Brock Lesnar. So
Yes, of course. Brock
So
Lesnar.
he pummeled Mark Hunt, and so my concern, Lou, is that if he waits until his contract is up, he's going to be too old. He's 38 years old, almost 39.
True, but he's such a freak of fucking nature that I think he's going to give it a go. I mean, you've got CM Punk, who's 38, who's never stepped in the octagon once, who's getting ready to hop in here in 3 months. So
That's true. That's true. And you got Herschel Walker at what is he, 54, saying he wants to fight?
ugh, don't. That's embarrassing. You know, and I gotta
Who?
say,
Herschel Walker. Actually,
Like-
he just said recently he thinks he could still help an NFL team.
Herschel Walker, yeah, that was like months ago, wasn't it?
I think that's a character on The Walking Dead, actually. So
Herschel.
A disembodied zombie head. That's
Man,
my
I'm
favorite
just
character.
I'm just
is
not ever
Herschel's
prepared for
disembodied
Ryan's
zombie head.
flame throwing. You know what I mean?
Ryan throws so much shade, he's a fucking parasol. Okay?
A parasol? All right. Okay.
That was highbrow shit.
You're
right
the
there.
No, I like
you're
it.
our Fred
I like
from
it.
Scooby Doo.
I'm in, Lou.
Fred, you have the ascot and you have a girlfriend, but we're all like, buddy, where's an ascot?
And he really likes Sage Northcutt.
Yeah, man.
You know what? That was one of the most intricate parts of Fred's character on Scooby-Doo. That's like, hey guys, we need to go solve the mystery of the haunted mill, and then I'm gonna go jerk off to pictures of Sage Northcutt. Yeah, I totally remember that. That was
Really?
every episode.
Really, just the mystery machine and the whole thing, like solving crimes, was so that they would like throw them off the scent, like, and not think about like, why is he in the closet still? Like, just come out, man. It's fine. We'll still love you, Fred. I mean,
John,
Daphne's going to be a little upset, but
one of the things that you and I had very different opinions on. You were extremely excited to see Anderson Silva. I respected seeing Anderson Silva, but my opinion was, please don't let this old man fucking die in the ring. And in the first round, I think you'll agree with me. You were probably a little worried he was going to fucking die in the octagon there in the first round when Cormier got on top of him and started pounding him in the back of the skull.
Here's the problem. I was partially worried Cormier might too. He did not look like he was in fighting shape.
Well, he didn't cut. He didn't do any weight cuts, so I mean he was a little flabby.
That's a good point. That's a good point. He didn't cut, so yeah.
But then now in the third round, we obviously get, not to do a whole play-by-play, we're not going to talk about any other fights, but it was a huge moment in the third round. There's 52 seconds left. They're on the floor. He's got him in a half guard. There's nothing they can do against each other. The crowd is chanting, stand him up, stand him up. The ref stands him up, and they go to it. And immediately, Silva lands that liver shot right on him on that side kick. And Cormier goes down to one knee, and here comes Silva just throwing punches in the corner and goes for a knee. And Dana White had to have been tying the noose. I mean, it was. I thought you were going to see the light heavyweight champion get knocked out by a 41-year-old man. I thought that was about to fucking happen.
Would they have taken the belt?
No, it was a non-sanctioned match or a non-title match. Yeah, it was just a 3-round. But that was terrifying at the end. And then John, you made the comment at the end. He always he's from Brazil. He speaks Portuguese, but he very rarely speaks English. And at the end, he said maybe about 30 words of paraphrasing. He said, "Thank you so much to you fans here," in English. He said, "Thank you so much to you fans here and around the world. You're the reason I do this. I love you with all my heart, and thank you for cheering me on all these years." And you made the comment, John, that sounded like a retirement speech.
Yep, and I stand by it. I would be not totally surprised, but I would be pretty damn surprised if after those words he ever gets back into the ring again. I think he might go off and be a coach.
Like on that reality show?
No, I mean like he'd go off and
would be awesome.
Big money by guys. But yeah, no, overall, for everyone who didn't watch it, UFC 200, it was a great show. It was absolutely worth your money. Had a fantastic time watching it. Actually, some of the prelim matches, if you wanted to see brutality, the prelim matches on the Fight Pass, you had 3 consecutive TKOs. It was a good night. You had a good mix of diversity as far as finishes. So that was a lot of fun. I stand by my comment that women's MMA is officially dead. Now that the bantamweight belt, which is the most important belt in women's MMA, has played hot potato. We've had now 5 champions in the last 7 months. Yeah, okay, fuck it, it's dead. It's done. Doesn't matter anymore.
Usually parity is good for sports, but not combat
Not
sports.
in a sport where you have individuals. Golf's highest point for our generation was when Tiger was killing it. So,
I mean, same with heavyweight boxing. We want to see people
Tyson,
who are dominant and compelling.
in any individual sport, you want to see dominance from an individual because then they can market that individual. You can't market the belt. You have to market the individual. People don't care about the belt. They care about the sexy lady who's wearing it.
Who's to say we don't get that lady like next year? Like it could happen.
I think Ronda could come back and wreck everything.
Well, now, what I said last night was, here's what Nunes could do. If Nunes goes out there, I mean, she dominated. She came out from the very first, in the very first round, dominated in what was it, John? 3 minutes, 12 seconds. She breaks Tate's nose in 2 different places. She's bleeding all over the ring. She falls to her knee because her eye is starting to swell up and she can't see her. She gets her in a rear naked choke and just taps her out. If Nunes continues to go on and do that, if like Nunes and Pena is the next fight we see, and she can go on 2 or 3, she can rattle off 2 or 3 dominant victories, yeah, then we could maybe get some credibility back to that. But really, how much longer is Rousey going to want to do this? She can make a lot more money, wearing jeans for Calvin Klein than she can getting her face fucking crushed.
Yeah, but all you got to do is watch anything about Ronda Rousey, and you learn really quickly it's about the competition for her. It's why she's an Olympian, you know what I mean? It's why was as a former world champion of the UFC. It's about the competition. So I do see her still doing it. But I'll tell you, Lou, I think if we can get a title defense out of Nunes, I think that it kind of hits the reset button on the hot potato. And the reason is, remember that this is a new weight division. It's gonna bounce around for a bit. When the WEC merged and the lighter divisions came into UFC, they kind of had a little bit of the same problem. of all of a sudden there seemed to be a little bit of interchangeability. That's
You're right.
gonna. David is spot on when he says, "What if we get it next year?" Because it really, I think, if we give it a little more time, it will settle out. It's a new thing. It's a new thing to see women in this type of sport, and I'm glad that it's finally happening. I'm of the mindset we got to give them a little more time to sort it out, and it will, because I don't think there'll be as much parity as there currently is. We just have to find the right people.
Well, yeah, and the way it's come to national prominence in the last couple of years, because we have had, for a short bursts of time, we've had prominent figures for the first time. And, I mean, that's going to inspire the next generation.
Right.
Like, we're going to be drawing from a wider talent pool just because there's national interest now.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, look, I'm poo-pooing where the division is, but as far as Nunes's ability out there, holy fucking shit, she looked like a rabid pit bull last night. Like I thought she was gonna kill Misha. I mean, Misha probably tapped so quick because she thought this bitch is gonna break my neck, because ass beating of the night absolutely goes to Nunes. She fucking killed Misha Tate. It wasn't even close. There was no chance at that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. She did, and it was good to see. And but what I think it
Good
shows
to shut that bitch up, yeah.
What I think it shows, though, is that there is a lot of talent in this division. There is a lot of talent among the women. It hasn't been stacked. They have not racked and stacked yet because there's still a lot of people that have to fight each other. I think if we give it another year, I think David's absolutely right. I think it'll settle out and it'll just, it won't be looked at as, oh, look at the spectacle of these ladies fighting. It'll just be another division of the UFC. And I think the faster we get there, the better fighting will be in general.
Well, let me pose this to you real quick, and we'll get off of UFC forever. Whatever that kid's name is, Alan McClenley or whatever. We're done with UFC forever. It's done. It'll never be talked about again. In your opinion, now that Joanna down in the Polish pulverizer, down in the strawweight division, now that she has had 3 successful title defenses, and she had like I said on Friday night, best women's match I've ever seen in my life. Now that she's had 3 title defenses, do you think the strawweight means more than the bantamweight? Which a year ago you would have said, are you fucking kidding me? I can't tell you the strawweight champion is. But today, would you say the strawweight belt means more than the banta?
Because it's been defended? No. I think it's more compelling right now that the bantamweight is up in the air, because it's creating a situation where we've got to figure out who this is. You look at Ronda Rousey beat Misha Tate, who got, but beat Holly Holm, and then, I'm sorry,
yes.
Ronda Rousey beat Misha Tate, lost to Holly Holm, and then Misha Tate beat Holly Holm. So what does this say? Do I have to start looking at this at Nunes is better than Ronda Rousey, or do we get Ronda Rousey back in the UFC and let her fight and see what happens?
We'll have to see. But Jake, what else you got on the docket for us? We will agree to disagree, John.
Well, besides UFC, of course, and the impending heartburn from all of our garbage food, basically, we argued in our RTP chat amongst each other for like 3 days about this build a team to beat the Warriors with this budget. I put the link in the chat, and if you're watching this not live, it's down in the description box. And it's from TheRinger.com, and it's called Building a Super Team to Beat the Warriors. And the idea here is you have a $15 budget, and players are put into tiers. The only $7 player, I assume Steph Curry would end up in this if he was available, but he's not since he's on the Warriors, and maybe Durant. But LeBron James is the only $7 player. There are no $6 players. After that, $5 players, people like Anthony Davis, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, Russ. $4 players, Carmelo, Andre Drummond, Kyrie Irving, etc. $3 players getting down to like the Giannis Antetokounmpo, Serge Ibaka, Kevin Love, etc. And a bunch of $2 players like Chandler Parsons, Gordon Hayward, Bradley Beal, Kemba Walker, and then everybody else is a $1 player. Now, you're not getting a bench, so you don't have to worry about that, but your starting lineup can only be worth $15 according to this scale. And now, I wanted everybody to do 2 different lineups. The first lineup, or this, I guess the first or second lineup, depending on how you do it. One of your lineups has to have LeBron James in it, because he just won the championship, and obviously he's the best player on the planet. And it would just be fun, because he's $7. It makes you really, really work it. The other one is anyone you want, as long as, of course, it lands on $15. So you really get into this point where you start looking at somebody and their value on a team, where like some of these $2 players, for instance, C.J. McCollum or I don't know, Kemba Walker, I could save $1 and get like Reggie Jackson from the Pistons because he's a $1 player, stuff like that. So this has been really fun. We argued for 3 days about this. It's really great. So I'll go first with my LeBron lineup. So let's all do our LeBron lineups first. So my LeBron lineup, and I know David's going to be into this a lot because he's my basketball guy. But the look at Lou. Everybody look at Lou.
Hey,
walking away and coming back like a fucking professional, Lou. Anyways, Lou, so you're in the loop. We're doing our lineups right now. First round, we're all going to go do our LeBron lineups and let everybody know. So my LeBron lineup has LeBron James. And by the way, I checked the math on this. This works. I just didn't write down their values, so I don't remember. LeBron James, Michael Conley at point guard, Gordon Hayward at shooting guard, Chandler Parsons at small forward, so LeBron's playing the 4, and then at center, Jonas Valanciunas. And here's what I'm thinking. All of these guys can score 20 points. Conley's probably the least likely to do that, but he's still a guy. You have plenty of playmakers on this lineup, right? So pretty much all these guys are pretty good at passing the ball. I think Hayward and Parsons are probably the least adept passers. Valanciunas is a pretty good distributor from the post. What, you're going to interrupt me already before I've made my case, you whore? You beautiful whore?
I don't think you're giving your lineup enough credit, is all, because I think
I'm going to. Hold on.
Hayward and Parsons have both run the point for their respective teams.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying they're all distributors, but I'd say the 2 are the weakest among the 5. Maybe Valanciunas and Parsons, I don't know. But it's a good lineup. All of them can rebound the ball. Conley is a pretty big point guard. He bodies up a lot of guys. He plays a lot like Chauncey Billups used to play. And they can play. They all are pretty good defenders. I'd say Hayward's probably the least good defender, but he's on Clay, and you could switch Parsons around and LeBron and Conley, and you could mix that up. All these guys can rotate around and play pretty much all the positions except for Valanciunas, who'd probably play the 4 and 5 exclusively. I just think there's a lot of playmaking ability. All of them can shoot at least from 15 feet or in. Probably a little bit further. 4 of the guys can shoot threes. Conley's probably the least good guard for threes on that roster, but he's good. And like they can spread the court around. They can pick and roll like a motherfucker. And yeah, Chandler Parsons, Gordon Hayward, Jonas Valanciunas, Michael Conley, LeBron James. That's a championship team, bitch. Who says otherwise? None of you.
I love it. I love it. I just think some of your negative assessments of some of your players don't sound right to me. Like I think Mike Conley's an excellent 3-point shooter, and he just
doesn't jack it up as much as I think.
No, he doesn't.
An elite 3-point shooter would, and maybe that's just by nature of being on the Grizzlies.
Yeah, probably. And you got to throw in Chandler Parsons. Was like second in the league in 3-point.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And also, he's a really fantastic defender. Which is
he's fantastic on the pick and roll.
And surprise, 3 white guys on this starting lineup, and I didn't notice until now.
But some of the best, Parsons and Hayward don't play with like white guys. I mean, they're solid athletes. They can dunk. They boss people around.
Gordon Hayward
they both handle the ball.
Has bodied up LeBron James a couple times, like defensively, and says he's gone out and said I could beat LeBron James 1-on-1. And he probably couldn't, but he might win like 1 out of 10 to 15 games though. I mean, he's very, very talented, good player. And I like that they have some height, but it's not like It's still
bicep
athletic.
as big as my head.
Right.
And well, yeah, Hayward and Parsons have both run minutes at the 4, and then fucking like Gordon Hayward, man, he's just a monster, and he has good hair.
He has,
So,
you know, you and Hayward share that. I mean, you both have very good hair. You have more facial hair, but we'll see what happens over the years.
He can't grow it yet. He can't grow it, but we'll see what happens when he does. I'm sure I'll have great facial hair 5 years from now.
David, you're making me regret wearing a hat today because I got my hair cut and it's a really good haircut.
You sent us a pic.
No, I saw. Yeah, we saw the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, you could step away. We could like pause for 2 minutes if you think you could get it done. Oh, we won't pause, but I mean,
Right.
we'll be able to get back.
Yeah.
No, I'll just I won't wear a hat next week.
All right. Well, David, since we'll go in reverse order of the food. David, what's your LeBron James lineup for this little exercise here?
All right, this is a little bit unconventional, I guess.
Good. I like
But
it.
I've got. Well, first I'm going with LeBron James because he's really good. Then I'm going with now there might be a lot of Steven Adams appearances on these lists because he's
He's $1 player.
It's insane value for what you're gonna get.
Right.
$1 for the most monstrous athletic set. Well, not athletic. Like he's not.
He's just a
jumping at the gym.
he's the best
That guy.
valued center on the
Yeah,
board.
and the guy catches lobs like nobody's business. He dunks
Right.
so much.
He's actually in my next lineup, by the way.
And so yeah, Steven Adams. I'm running him at center. Now the 1 through 4 are all like fluid positions.
Yeah.
In my lineup because I've got LeBron, Chandler Parsons, who I just love at $2, and I've got Paul George, and
Who was 4, right?
Ben Simmons. No.
Yeah. Okay. So Ben Simmons, by the way, the rookies to me, I feel like it's a little bit cheating.
He's
now,
$1.
I will grant it to you. He is a very, like in the summer league so far, his passing has been wicked, and he's probably going to be a really good player. But like if we would have picked Karl Anthony Towns for $1 last year doing this exercise, like
It would have been, yeah, we would have found out.
it
Well,
kind of
guess
breaks
what?
the game a little bit. But
Yeah.
I will allow it. I will allow it.
The guy, well, we saw him at LSU. He didn't do much. He looked tentative, and he couldn't shoot. And, well, hey, he's got no left hand, so I don't know. Cut me some slack here. But he's 6'10", and is basically running the point right now. He's huge and athletic.
6'10"?
Yes.
Jesus, he doesn't look that big on the court. I don't know if that's his actual height, but he plays like he's 6'4".
Yeah, well, just with his, ball handling and passing, like he looks like a point guard. So, well, the reasoning with my lineup here is.
Did you finish your lineup? I feel like I missed a guy.
Well, shit, did I?
Steven Adams, LeBron James, Chandler Parsons, Ben Simmons. Who's the other guy?
Paul George. Now,
Paul George.
George.
No, you said him.
So
Man, that's a big team.
it is. It's a huge team. LeBron, Ben Simmons, Chandler Parsons, and Paul George can all be ball handler in the pick and roll. Chandler Parsons, Paul George, and LeBron have all spent extensive minutes at the 4. Paul George can play the 2. I mean, you can switch everything, and Steven Adams is even quick enough to kind of chase guys around on the perimeter if he gets switched onto a point guard. And
he's certainly better than Kevin Love. And you saw what he did against Curry in the last seconds there. So
and like I was saying, Chandler Parsons is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league right now, and he can never get an open 3. Paul George can always get his own shot and basically runs 3 pick and rolls every possession for the Pacers. He's their whole offense and still makes 3s. So I've got some shooting. Everyone's fat. Paul George is in all defensive first or second team every year. And can jump out of the gym. So we've got defense, size, speed, and maybe enough shooting to give those guys trouble.
It seems like there's a theme going on between at least the two of us so far. Chandler Parsons at $2 seems like a hell of a value, right?
He's just he's not a star. He's such a good passer, and he's a solid defender, and the fucking 3-point shooting. I don't think people realize how good his shooting is.
And he's good looking. So I mean,
Handsome Chandler Parsons is how he's known in NBA writer circles. Handsome Chandler Parsons.
he earned it. So Ryan, have you had? I know we were kind of last second here. Did you get your LeBron James lineup ready? I can skip you if needed.
No, I just did it while you were talking, and that's why I didn't
Beautiful.
have any comments on yours. But so this is pretty quick and just out there. So obviously I have LeBron, and then let's go to my big men down low. I'm looking to defend the paint. I have DeAndre Jordan and Serge Ibaka, both $3 players. So I'm at $13 already.
That's two $1 players you need.
That's two $1 players up top.
Two
And
$1 backcourt players. Ugh.
my two guard, a great shooter, JJ Redick.
Mm-hmm.
And then my point guard, a beautiful passer, probably one of my favorite point guards to watch just because he can pass the ball so well, is Ricky Rubio.
Ooh.
I don't hate the Rubio pick.
Yeah.
I gave Lou a lot of shit for his Redick pick. It had more to do with his
boy.
entire team composition. But I don't like Redick against the Warriors. I just don't. I like him against
Yeah.
pretty much every other team. But I know David's going to back you up here. So, David, go ahead. Tell me why I'm wrong about J.J. Redick, who should also be called handsome J.J. Redick. Because he's handsome, too. Man, I think that's like a prerequisite
He's all right.
to get
But
to
he
the
doesn't-
NBA
but he doesn't
as an
throw it
American white
around.
man.
He doesn't throw it around like Parsons does. So like Parsons, he's not slutty, but I mean, he's accessible. Like JJ Redick just isn't accessible. It's like he's like Tim Tebow. It's like, okay, stop fawning over him. You're not gonna get it, girl. Okay, you go after Sage Northcutt, you might be able to lock that down. So that's what it is with those two.
Now, here's
This is
why
the commentary with Lou.
So
Also
why I
nice
like
commentary.
JJ Redick against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Well, he's been people don't understand what a defender he is. He was noted James Harden stopper. Like James Harden just doesn't shoot well against him at all. He's a really, really crafty defender. He is tenacious, chasing people around screens, which is what Clay and Steph Curry, they run around the court.
Is he scrappy?
No,
does he
he's
scrap. Oh, okay.
no, no, not really. He doesn't scrap. He just runs.
He's not violent about it. David,
No.
to kind of back you up on this one, to say with JJ Redick, where I see Redick, we all give Love so much credit for that last inbound. That last 7 seconds there in the playoffs when he was on Steph Curry. He watched Redick film to figure out how to do that, to keep up with him that way, and to stay on him like white on rice. That was Redick we were seeing out there. He just threw on Kevin Love's jersey was all.
Right.
That's what you're going to see from Redick every single night.
Another fun thing, JJ Redick holds shooters to 30% shooting off, like guarding guys off of screens. And that's usually when Klay Thompson gets around his screen and catches the ball and launches up a three. Well, that's JJ Redick's.
I'm
you know,
just
I was about to
worried
say,
about.
that's Klay Thompson's scoring period, isn't it?
Right,
Yeah,
because it's
so
a series of 7 games. So the way I look at it, like, JJ just cannot go at Clay enough to make him worry about him on offense. It's basically like chase him around and he shoots some corner threes, he gets 10, 15 points.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's an absurd underestimation of how
Yes,
JJ Redick affects
maybe.
the defense.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know, man.
he's in like similar to Kyle Korver. He is and
I
Reggie
wouldn't
Miller
pick
and
Korver
Ray
either.
Allen before him. He is running circles around the court. He is disruptive because everyone needs to know where he is at all times because he is such an excellent shooter. He's one of the
You
best.
forgot Rip Hamilton, sir.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Okay, Rip Hamilton, sure. I know you're a Detroit fan, and I apologize. I'm a Rip fan too, but yeah, I just think JJ Redick he bends the defense in that way, in a similar way to these other brilliant shooters that we have, like Clay, or like Kyle Korver. So I think that's making Clay, because Klay Thompson is a great post defender, a great on-ball defender, but having to chase a guy around for 40 minutes, a guy like JJ Redick who's just fucking all over the place, always moving, it's I mean, that's what you want to do to a guy like Klay Thompson. It can put him off his offensive game, and it just to tire him out constantly.
Yeah.
JJ Redick is just a walking ball of energy. He's not the most
All right,
athletic
so we all
guy,
agree Ryan's
but-
lineup is garbage. Lou, what's your lineup?
All right, we're going to do this quickly. All right, so my lineup is this. We've got Redick, obviously LeBron, he's taking up 7 points. You've got Redick. Again, he's going to run around. He's going to be able to defend Steph. Kyrie Irving, the way he played against the Warriors, the body of film that we have against him, hey, if it wasn't for LeBron, Kyrie's the MVP of the finals this past season. Again, Chandler Parsons, I've only got 3 points left. Chandler Parsons, incredible value, can score from anywhere on the court at 2, and plays tenacious defense off the pick and roll and off of the screen. Like we said, that's how the Warriors play. And then Steven Adams down in the paint. I've only got 1 point left, and dominant against the Warriors, with the exception of Draymond Green's right foot, was dominant against them in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I like that lineup. It's a Redick thing, and maybe I'm wrong. John, where you at, brah?
Well, so I know so little about basketball
That's fine. Just do math.
that I wouldn't even be able to tell you what positions any of these guys play. So what I did was I went back to 1987, bought myself a Game Genie, gave myself $35, cloned LeBron James 5 times, and won the universe.
That's a solid strategy, John. This guy's got a future in the NBA.
Yeah, he figured it out.
Bold.
That is solid. That's solid.
All right, but now I want to get to the better ones. The more interesting ones, in my opinion, are the ones without LeBron, because he takes up like 4 positions on the court, maybe 5, depending on how you want to do your lineup. So I went for my other one. Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, Chandler Parsons, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Steven Adams. How do you like them apples?
Can
like
we just
that.
say freak from now on?
Greek freak.
You just
The
say it instead
Greek
of trying to
freak.
say it all. I'm sorry, Ryan. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Antetokounmpo. That's how you say it. It's fine. You're good. I also have a variation with Kawhi Leonard on it, but I accidentally spent too much, so I had to switch out Greek freak.
I'm sorry. Could you
Angus.
run us through real quick? Could you run us through that again, Jake? Just want to make sure I got it.
So Kyrie at the point. I want Russ at the 2, and then obviously they can swap it around. Doesn't really matter. Chandler Parsons, of course, and then Greek freak at the 4, and Steven Adams at the 5. Athleticism. All over the fucking place. Like my other lineup was basically like keep up with them and shoot the 3 and spread the court. This one is just like be more athletic and jump around and run the fast break and be able to defend and out athletic them. Yeah,
Jake, I like it. I
too.
like the.
Jake,
Like-
who was
Well, I'm
playing
worried
point
about
guard?
Durant now, so that's who I'm looking at. I'm looking at Parsons and Greek freak all over that shit.
That's good. That's what you need. The length and the disruption. That's
Absolutely.
not bad.
What were you gonna say, Luke?
Boy, do we.
Jake, I'm sorry. Who was playing point for you? I heard that you were going to have Russ play the 2. Who was playing the 1 for you?
Kyrie. He's only
Oh,
4.
okay. Well, shit.
Yeah.
You and me, your and I's team is pretty similar then.
Yeah. Who's different? You can go next.
Well, not to jump in front of anybody. Basically, my team was essentially the premise behind it is 2 guys that can score from anywhere, who are going to draw a lot of fouls, and then be able to dominate in the paint and have a defender who control the paint, bang the boards all night long. So I've got Kyrie, I've got James Harden playing the 2.
So he's your 5.
Yeah, so he's my 5-point player. Yeah. Then I've got Parsons. I've got Al Horford and Steven Adams, and the logic behind there is those 2 guys can shoot from more than 4 feet out. I was originally going to go with Howard there, but as David reminded me, yeah, Howard's going to shoot from less, 4 feet or less out only. But those 2 guys are going to be bringing down about 15 rebounds between the 2 of them on average, and be able to control the paint. And you've got 2 guys out there who are going to score. I mean, granted, my team isn't going to hold the Warriors to 75 points. That's not what we're trying to do here. I got to keep up with them. So the over/under, I make no bones about it. The over/under for the games, my team versus theirs, is going to be like 240 points a night. So I get that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you realize that you're not going to allow them only to score 85 points, because not a whole lot of defense there, but I do see where you think you can keep up with them. It makes sense.
Controlling the paint is the logic, so that Draymond Green hopefully becomes, obviously he can shoot, he can still shoot a 3, but in the paint, and whoever's going to replace Bogut is basically taken away by those two guys in the paint. That's the logic there. So basically, I'm keeping up with them, and I'm going to control the boards. That's my logic. Because you're not going to stop them.
Do you worry, Lou, about the ball not moving around very much with guys like Kyrie and James Harden who like to dribble for like 15 seconds at a time?
That's the point, though, is drawing fouls and getting to the line. That's the whole point in this, is hopefully that you wind
exciting.
up... Hopefully you wind up... Well, yeah, I'm not trying to be exciting. I'm trying to bring a fucking title back to Houston, okay? You know? I mean, I'm trying to bring the O'Brien Trophy back to Houston, goddammit. No, it's, you know, try and get Clay and try and get, you know, Clay and Draymond are going to be able to get in foul trouble with this team. So that's
I'm not worried about Draymond as a basketball player. Am I weird? Like, I know that he's probably going to get his. He's good enough to get his rebounds and some points, and it's always going to be a nice stat line, but I'm never worried about it. He's kind of, I don't know.
Now, that being said,
I don't feel like you're going to lose because Draymond blew up. Does that make sense?
Well, right,
I mean,
but you're also not going to. But also, you're not going to have Kevin Durant shooting 50%. So you know, there's going to be plenty of defensive rebounding possibilities for those two guys.
He might shoot 50%. He's fucking.
He's
amazing.
He's not going to.
Oh, okay. Ryan, what's your lineup? Did you make a second one?
Yeah. So a very young lineup, except for one veteran to hold it all together. My highest paid player is Anthony Davis, $5.
Okay.
I think he's probably, you know, going to be the guy to build around. So we're going to go young guys around him with Steven Adams, also in the paint.
Sure, I like that.
Andrew Wiggins, I think he, you know, good at the three, good lengthy player, can probably guard Durant decently. So go with him. And then Isaiah Thomas running the 1, and Dwayne Wade at the 2.
Dwayne, was he $1?
He was 3.
He was 3.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see who else is $3 that you said no to.
This is an interesting lineup, Ryan, and I think it'd be fun to watch. And they'd probably be fast.
I might go Bledsoe over Wade.
Who's the shooter here? Who's your shoot? Like you gotta.
Isaiah Thomas is a shooter.
Isaiah Thomas can shoot. Yeah.
He's not a great, like, he's just a barely above average 3-point shooter. And there's this math problem when you play the Warriors where 3 points are worth more than 2 points, and you can outplay the Warriors in most facets of the game, and they'll just beat you because Clay or Curry will go off for about 5 minutes.
You know what I would do to that lineup? I would trade Dwayne Wade down for Bradley Beal for $2, and then use that extra dollar to upgrade Andrew Wiggins into Paul George or Jimmy Butler.
Oh, that's a good idea. I did have Bradley Beal, but I had Rudy Gobert at center.
He's so slow. I love Gobert, but he's just too slow.
He's like he's got like a 10-foot wingspan, I swear.
Yeah.
And Jake, in that scenario that you just gave, clearly Jimmy Butler is the right choice, right? Because he's going to be a lot more physical.
Then Paul George. Paul George is basically LeBron, but he's just not quite as good.
Yeah.
I think Paul George and Jimmy Butler, it's close because they're both studs on defense.
Yeah, I could interchange either one.
I would take Jimmy Butler in that situation.
You think so?
I don't think it's.
Plus he brings the intensity like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. I mean, Paul George will trash talk, but he trash talks like Ryan, like, hey.
Yeah, but Paul George.
I don't really like you that much.
Paul George is a
nice
more willing 3-point shooter and a slightly better 3-point shooter. I don't think
if he wouldn't have broke his leg
a couple years.
If he would have broke his leg a couple years
ago,
ago, so. I know he was, but I'm just saying, like, he kind of was out for a while, and it slowed him down. I think it slowed his development. I think this year, Paul George is gonna this is gonna be his peak.
And injuries aside, because quite frankly, if we're looking at this for the long term, and we're signing
just a year.
There's no fucking way I'm bringing Chandler Parsons in like the Grizzlies did and giving him a max deal, giving his left knee a max deal. That ain't happening.
This is just an exercise.
Right, it's just an exercise. But I'm saying if we brought money and we brought injuries into it, there's no way Chandler Parsons is on my team right now if injuries come into play.
I wonder if you could build this team for $20, like a whole team. Anyways, go ahead, David. What's your last lineup?
Okay. Well, shit. I've got 3 of them, so I'm just gonna select
pick your
one
favorite.
random. Shit. I thought I knew. All right. So we've got Paul George, who obviously I like.
Sure.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yes, that's a lot of defense already.
Just length. Like they're both about 6'8" to 6'9". They both have wingspans, and they're the best perimeter
Can shoot.
defenders in the league.
One of them has cornrows.
Wait. What about shooting?
Both of them can shoot.
Oh yeah. Okay. Kawhi was 48% from three, like halfway through the season last year. The guy has lights out.
I just wish in big moments he wouldn't look scared and pressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's a great player. He's probably gonna. I feel like this year he's gonna take a step forward because it's his team now.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think he's still getting the hang of being a scorer. Like that's a new thing to him. Like he came in the league looking like a scrub that couldn't dribble the ball.
Yeah. And I don't think any other person has cornrows in the NBA now. I think he's it, isn't he?
It's just him.
Yeah,
like
when you
he's
watch
Bird-
him,
maybe
when you
Birdman
watch
comes
him,
back.
you're like, holy shit! Allen Iverson gained a lot of weight and came back into the NBA. What's going on?
I think Latrell Sprewell more, but
Yeah. So I've got
who cares?
now. This is a weird lineup because Paul George is going to be my primary ball handler. I don't have a true point guard. I've got Avery Bradley will guard a point guard, but he's not a ball handler passer. He's like an off guard. But he's going to be guarding Steph Curry, and he's lights out from three, 40% 3-point shooter. He'll run a full court defense just because he feels like it, just because
Is
he likes to
Bradley
harass
a dollar?
Yes. Avery Bradley's
Wow.
a dollar for first team all defense who can shoot 40%.
I thought he was $2 last time we argued about him.
So yeah. So I've got Paul George, Kawhi, Avery Bradley. Then I've got Steven Adams because he's a dollar. And then my ace in the hole is Paul Millsap, who is basically he was third in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He can kind of run the Draymond Green secondary point guard,
It's a
out of
weird
the
big
post.
man point guard. It's not like a LeBron point. It's more like I can pass a pick and roll pass over you.
Yeah. You get the ball at the top of the key, and it's like that. It's a weird.
That's a good lineup.
He's a Swiss Army knife. I've got a bunch of really fluid players. There can be a lot of switching, and just the size of Paul George, Millsap, and Kawhi, I'm really confident in.
When I made my second lineup, and I guess my first lineup with LeBron, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, they do a lot of picks, whether it's a pick and roll or a pick and fade, and they try to get mismatches. I got to pick the lineup that can't be exploited, and that's really how you beat them, and that's how the Cavs beat them. They started switching well, like when Tristan Thompson came in. But yeah, so that was fun. That was a good time. Did anyone else? I don't think anyone in the comments actually did anything.
Was Tristan Thompson a dollar?
Yes.
Yeah. He's also swappable with Adams, I think. Or if
I think so. I think.
Yeah, but as far as physicality, I'm gonna take Adams right there.
Yeah, well, Adams is just taller and longer, and they both can do similar things, but Adams is just a bigger guy. So.
Can I put Kobe out of retirement?
Here's a question that might.
Kobe, you can if you want.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I hear you, John.
I'll give it to you for $0.
Let's cut through the bullshit and listen to John speak.
Here's a question that might spark a little bit of debate. Since you only have $15, what team would you build if you could do nothing but $3 players that are on this list?
God damn it, John!
Only $3 players, or
you can build
$3
from only
below?
$3
or
list
less.
of $3 players. No.
Oh,
only
okay.
the list
So I'm
of
taking Greek Freak, Eric Bledsoe, Derek Favors probably. Wow, they don't really have a lot of small guys. I'd probably take Wiggins and Kyle Lowry. Yep. That's what I would do. So I got Derek Favors at the 5, Giannis Antetokounmpo at the 4. I would have Wiggins at the 3, Eric Bledsoe at the 2, and Kyle Lowry run the 1.
How about you, David?
I've got shit. I'll go with Greek Freak, Serge Ibaka.
Ooh.
I want some length. I want this to be like a long ass lineup.
Do y'all
Greek
think
Freak's
Ibaka's a little overvalued at 3?
I think
he should be at 2.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, Greek Freak's my point guard. Ibaka's 4. I'll do Andrew Wiggins at 2. Chris Bosh at 5. Who else is fast? Did I already pick a shit?
Thomas
Where's the
would be
shooting
an alright
guards?
pick. They don't have very many.
I think Dirk is still a 3, isn't he?
Dirk, yeah. Dirk
He
is.
can't play. He can't play a wing, and
Yeah, you're right.
he's too slow. He's hobbled.
Fuck you, John. This was hard.
Yeah,
Anyways.
John, this is difficult because I'm having to look at. I
Cut-
mean, that's the
cut
thing with
Lowry.
with the 3 players. You really are so limited in this. We're all going to pretty much have the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no-
too
there's
bad.
just
I
no
wish they had more
little
$3
guys.
players. There are some guys that deserve
There's no
to
little
be
guys,
up in
and
that.
Dwayne Wade and Andrew Wiggins do the same thing, and just Andrew Wiggins is younger and faster at this point for
Right.
to keep up with the Warriors' athleticism.
Well,
I
Let's
think,
do
a
Bauer.
better question would be this: you can only have 1 5 on the team. Make your team. That would be a better exercise.
Well, let's go ahead and
My
finish
1-5
this one.
is
We
Kawhi
don't
every
have to do
Or
it right now.
Russ.
I'm just saying if we do this in the
Yeah.
future,
We can
we're just
save
going to go
that.
off on a tangent for this.
Yeah. So to close out the show, we're almost done here. Let's do some comments
Well,
things. If you have any
Bauer-
comments, go for it. Go for
Ryan didn't get to name his team yet.
Brian didn't get to name his team.
Okay,
Brian, name your
hold on.
goddamn team, you piece of
I
shit.
don't really want to name my team, but I do want to make a point for Ibaka to be worth $3.
With all the animation in your whole body.
I think
down.
I
Bring it
that he is a good. No, I think he can shoot, so he can spread the floor.
Sure.
He's a great defender.
I think he's regressed in that regard.
He's a good defender. When
He's a good defender. I wouldn't say he's a
With
great
Steve-
defender. at
with
this
Steven
point.
Adams on the floor, it takes away some of his need to defend. When he was the only guy
I
out
agree
there,
with that, but I think he's going to be exposed on the Magic.
Well, I think he helped give the Warriors fits in that series when him and Adams were like gelling a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Ibaka, he covers so much ground that when Adams is playing the 5, it enables Ibaka to like range around and close out on
But-
3-point shooters and be a weak side shot blocker. So
and by the
I-
way, the Magic have was it Vucevic, right?
yeah.
So and he's like he could shoot. He's like a mid-range jumper sort of center. So they're gonna have an interesting front court.
they're gonna be tall.
Yeah.
And they also have Aaron Gordon, who is a biracial angel. Anyways, comments. Whiplash Gaze. I got here late. Has anyone mocked Jake's glasses yet? I have a story about the glasses. I don't usually wear them when I
It's
record
gonna be a
things.
hell of a story.
It's not really. It's more of a sad Jake is dumb.
Hold on,
So I'm
hold
making
on.
fish
Let me
tacos
get on the
tonight.
edge of my seat
girlfriend
real quick.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm making fish tacos tonight, and made some salsa. Went to stick the contact in my eye, and my eyeball was like, "Wait a second, Jake. Jalapenos are bad for your eyes." And so my retina burned off, and now it fucking hurt a lot. I was like,
done that
ah.
many a time,
Ah!
many a time.
Yeah, no, it was a bad thing. If anyone's ever done that.
My girlfriend one time, I did the same thing. I had made my super spicy salsa, and about 3 hours later, I went to go take my contacts out, and I'm on the floor. I mean, I'm on my knees and I'm crying, and I've got my eyes closed, and I'm saying, "Run, go get me some milk." She goes and gets me a towel with some milk in it, and I'm sitting here patting my eyes, and I'm crying, I'm bawling, and I'm crying for about 3 minutes, and I open my eyes finally, and she's standing there with her phone. And I'm like, "How long have you been recording me?" She said, "Oh, since you started. This is going on YouTube. Like, I did this." And so, yeah. So she sat there and recorded me. It's not as courageous as the thing that happened in Minnesota lately, but I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I
Wow.
went there.
Does anyone else have a jalapeno story? I feel like someone statistically has like made salsa and then just like, man, I sure would like to jack off right now, and then they did that, and then they burnt their dick. Have you ever burnt your dick with jalapeno juice, guys?
I
I've
have
done it
not.
with
No.
crawfish spices. Eating crawfish and went to take a pee.
Ooh, there's a pea, so it's innocent. You told us about that.
Yeah, told you, do not do it. It's a bad idea. You wash your hands, then you pee, then you wash your hands again.
That's not good. That's
No.
not good. I think maybe there's not really any comments worth it. You guys are garbage. I think we should close out with two things. The first thing, an update. Lou, have you used Poopery anymore since the last time we talked about it? And if so, has the product quelled the stench of your butt?
It has. In fact, I used it today while I was preparing my sermon to close out the show. So I used it today while I was writing my sermon out. So.
Oh yeah, you have a sermon. Yeah. So we're gonna do an ode to Tim Duncan in a little bit. David, this is my second question. David, what product do you use in your hair?
I
want brands.
This is a serious question. All right, I don't know.
$10 says it's Redken. That's a Redken man if I've ever seen one.
I'm not sure what that.
You're killing me.
Just whatever my barber tells me I need to buy. First, I use a sea salt texturizing spray.
Don't fucking lie to me.
Do you want me to?
It's called a sea salt texturizing spray?
Yeah.
Hold on, Lou. Let's see that hair. Oh, that looks like you have a
That's
hangover.
super duper hat hair, but at the same time, it's like that's pretty good hat hair.
No.
That's pretty good for hat hair.
So yeah, first I have my sea salt texturizing spray, gives a little bit of body and some bounce. Gives me the pomp up here. Then I've got my Paul Matthews, some kind of matte.
Don't pretend like you don't know. You know
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
You know the serial
Okay,
number. You know
it's
the
orange.
SKU to it.
It's orange and it's like a little pomade container. Like that's what I know, and it feels.
Is
nice.
that like a salve? I don't need that. So.
Oh, trust me, baby.
I don't
You
know.
need it.
It's a paste.
You need it.
It's a paste. I see. I have
Something
had
like that.
hair in the past, and it's not for me. Like
And
I'll
then
do it sometimes because my girlfriend likes it, but then I decide like I'm my own man for a few months, and then I try to win her back with the hair. So.
But I'm not done. I've got more products.
Jesus Christ.
And then, so well, if I think I might like sweat for any considerable period of time, or if it's gonna be windy,
Right.
or if I want it to just not be like hanging down in front of my eyes like I'm Cousin It. After a while, I pop some hairspray on top.
What kind of hairspray?
You have to.
LA
I
Works?
used to use LA Works. No,
Stuff.
I used to use Kenra, which I guess is really expensive, so I stopped using that and I switched to.
You guess it's really expensive?
It's just what was in the house.
Oh God.
That's what I use. I use my wife's hair products usually. What my barber hands me and what my wife has hairspray wise.
What the fuck is wrong with Lou?
David,
doing-
I get rock hard for Sage Northcutt from the UFC, but I'm still straighter than you are right now.
So,
Okay, let's keep that in mind. Let's put that in perspective.
Anyone whose hair looks like really well kept and like really precisely done, they have a routine. They use a fucking blow dryer to shape it and mold it. Probably
So you use a
kind of
blow
hairbrush.
dryer to
You
shape it
own
and
a
mold it.
blow dryer?
I live with a woman, Lou. My wife has a blow dryer. All right, there's a blow dryer in the house.
You know
There's
what
like
is
5
Mine,
blow
but I
dryers
don't know
in the
how to
house.
use it.
I know that my girlfriend has a blow dryer, but I don't know where it's at.
You don't need it.
She keeps it in the top drawer next to her other things.
That's the dildos.
Don't you like blow dry your junk so you're not still damp when you put your boxers on, Jake?
Yes, I have
not.
done that before. Yes, that was me. who
I've
said
done
that.
it
I have
before,
done
but I
that
don't
before.
do it regularly.
If
Well,
I know
so-
that I'm going to
so
be
you know how to
going out
use
and
it.
working out.
I know
Yeah.
how to use a blow dryer
On my
but not on my
feet.
hair. If I had balls on my hair or on my head, like I could totally blow dry it, no problem. But I don't.
Okay, well that's. Can we get we need a fan illustration of that or something? Cause
Jake with balls on his head. I'm sure that exists
Yeah.
somewhere. Okay, so
Rule
we're gonna
34.
close this out. We're gonna close this hangout out. This live show, RTP Live number what? 3? This is the third one. This is the third one. And commemorating 7-Eleven and also commemorating the end of an era in NBA basketball. The great Tim Duncan, the big fundamental, number 21 on the San Antonio Spurs, has officially retired as of today, I think. And local our Texan of the podcast is Lou. And while not a San Antonio fan, he is a big fundamental fan. And Lou has decided to write and perform a farewell sermon to the one, the only, the Tim Duncan, the Timmiest of Duncans. So, Lou, please close the show with an ode to Tim.
My San Antonio brothers and sisters, I come to you today with a heavy heart, as I'm sure you come to me. And I'm sure many of you are sitting there today, some of you sad, some of you scared, some of you angry perhaps, at the news you heard today about our beloved Tim Duncan. But I beseech thee, do not mourn our loss, the world's loss of Tim Duncan. No. Let us take this day to celebrate what Tim Duncan has done for our city of San Antonio, what he has done for the people of San Antonio and our beloved Spurs. Because I don't need to remind you what it was like before he was here, do I? Oh, you remember the heartbreaking and the gut-wrenching losses we had, particularly from the hands of those horrific mountain troll people known as the Utah Jazz. I still have nightmares. It raises my blood pressure every time I think about that little Smeagol John Stockton running through the paint. Okay? And then, of course, 95. David Robinson, Jordan be upon him, wins the MVP. Victory is all but assured until those horrific crawfish-eating Bayou people from down I-10 in Houston snatch victory away from us with their Hakeem with his Phi Slam. Well, what is Phi Slamajama? Wait, is that some kind of witchcraft? Is that some kind of voodoo black magic? Did he put a hex on our David Robinson, make him look silly with that dream shake? That illegal dream shake, by the way, banned in 32 states.
Bitch, brother!
Can I get a Popovich?
Popovich!
Popovich.
And then, when things seemed their darkest, an angel came upon us by way of Wake Forest.
Yes.
An angel.
The greenest of forests!
And brother Tim Duncan, big time Timmy Jim, together with our David Robinson, Jordan be upon him, together formed the Twin Towers of San Antonio and declared to the rest of the NBA, jet fuel will not melt our steel beams or our mid-range jump shots.
Amen.
And what happens? We make it to the promised land. We make it to the NBA Finals in '99, and we bring the O'Brien Trophy to where it truly belongs, in San Antonio, Texas. And how many times did we do that? Well, let's just ask my good friend LeBron James. Not one, not two, not three, not four, 5. 5 times we brought the O'Brien Trophy back to its home in San Antonio. Now, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You're saying, Reverend Lou, but big-time Timmy Jim is gone now. What are we going to do? LaMarcus Aldridge, he's a good player. He's a perennial all-star now. We get that. But he's not an all-time great. He's got back spasm issues. He gets into foul trouble in the fourth too often in critical situations. And I hear you, my brothers and sisters. I hear you. And I realize that not all things can be achieved solely through the will of man. Some of these things we need to turn to the good book for. And it is in the good book, in the book of Jesus. Excuse me. Second Jesus, chapter 3.
Okay.
We find the words of wisdom. He who bestoweth the greatest and most plentiful and regular gifts and tithes upon my messengers shall receive the greatest and reap the greatest hoops rewards on the hardcore. What that's saying, ladies and gentlemen, what he's saying right there, what Wilt Chamberlain is saying in this verse, is that with your humble monthly donation of $25, what's $25? What's $25, really? In the big scheme of things, what's $25? With your donation monthly of $25 to the P.O. box that you see below, Patreon willing, LaMarcus Aldridge will overcome his foul trouble. He will overcome his over-aggressiveness in the paint. In fact, I can feel it in my hands. LaMarcus, I know you're watching. I know you're watching, LaMarcus. I want you to put your face right now up against your webcam. I know you can feel this, brother. I've got the power of Pat Robinson inside me right now. I've got so much love and hatred at the same time. I don't know how this man survives like this. It's so weird. It's so weird how this man can claim to love everybody but hates me so bad. Put your hand up. And I just want to say, go fund me, be willing. Be gone, foul trouble. Be gone, back spasms.